We gonna stand, we gonna live, we gonna die by what we stand for, and everybody gonna know what we represent and what we're a part of.
I got staying power. I got staying power.
Be encouraged today that no matter what you walk through, no matter how broken your marriage is, no matter how many times you failed,
there is within you a spirit that is greater than whatever is going on around you.
If you would be willing to fight your way through this battle, fight your way through cancer, fight your way through that academic struggle, fight your way through divorce, fight your way through it. If you are willing to fight your way through that singing career, fight your way through boxing, fight your way through football, I'm telling you, at the end of the fight is going to come victory.
And as you crawl up and out of that dismal and wretched place, as you rise above what you were, and as you take the form of who you are supposed to be, you will see that in the very act of standing up, in the very act of fighting on, you will become and you will remain unbroken.
Hello, good evening, everyone. Good evening, everybody in the house. Good evening. Chalo, let's get up for day 3, everybody. Nice. Good evening, Srija, Pawan, Yogesh, Subha Reddy, Nakul, Ramdev, Deepak, Roshni, Rashmitha. Good evening. Okay, Lokesh, Prasanna. Chalo, let's start. It's going to be a very important session, guys. Very important session. Okay. Yes, I have not shared the PDF. I'll clarify a few things why I did not share the PDF. Because today we are going to discuss more discussions about that designing and those kind of things. Okay? So I wanted to take first today's session, then I wanted to share. Okay, chalo, let's get started. So we will respect the time and we will respect each and every member who is available right now, 9:02. So let's not spend any time right from the minute 1. Let's get started. Okay. Now, there are a few things, guys. First of all the session notes which we are doing. Okay. So what I do is whatever we write it in the notepad, I track it separately. Later on, I create a blog about it and it is available on LinkedIn. So I will share a blog link right now. So all the session content is going to be daily updated on that blog link. Okay. So I'm pasting the link. I will show it to you as well quickly. So because the point is we are not doing this for just formality ki just the sessions should happen and all. We should get value and I will give you more clarity. So just have a look here. So this is the blog link. I've created just a URL like May Career Transformation. Okay. So all the notes which we have done as part of day 1, day 2 are already available here. So I will give this link right now in this chat. And we created a WhatsApp group today so that we can provide all this communication easily there so that it's fastly accessible for everybody. Okay. So it's in a descending order. So this is day 1. So we discussed about getting jobs and then whatever topics we discussed. Okay. 4 steps. What are we supposed to do? Next, with regards to positioning, how do you position yourself? Pass out to 1 year. Next. Okay. So 1 to 2 years, all the pointers which we discussed, 2 to 3, 3+, and so on. Okay. Next topic was, are you really prepared? So this is what we did on the day 1. Next, yesterday we covered real-time project related things. So here are all the instructions which we discussed, okay, how you should get to the project. And second is with regards to your preparation, all the tips that we discussed, the coding related URL plus the technology framework related, whatever we discussed, everything is available as part of this as core pointers. Okay. Now, these are the 2 days related work. So I'm pasting this link. Please bookmark this, and on a daily basis in the same place, I will keep updating like day 3, day 4, and this will continue till the end of day 15. Okay. So that is one. So I am making it available. So pasting it in the chat, guys, Zoom chat. Okay. So all session notes here. Okay. Okay. This is first update. Now the second update is key. As part of these sessions, we are speaking a bit hacks or work around things like that. So that is the reason I am not keeping this recordings available for a long time on social platforms. Okay. So I'm trying to bring it down and stuff like that. However, if there is something like very important and crucial, okay. So for example, today's session, I'm going to keep the link on YouTube because it's going to be a very valuable session, and I would request you to go through it multiple number of times. Okay. Because I think in one session, you might not get all the pointers which we are going to discuss. It's going to be very useful. Okay. Or thoda sa drawing nahi karo. Let me disable annotations. Okay, done. Now this is one. Okay. So okay, there is one angle ki why I don't want the recordings to be available. Thoda just understand it with me. I'm doing these sessions since past 2 years. The point is, you have to understand the value of what we are doing, and you need to prioritize this slot of Monday to Friday 9 to 10 on top of any other priorities of your life. If you do that, that means you're really committed and serious to advance in your career and go forward. Okay, that's how brain works. If you make this as a priority, then no other priority will come. But if you give this as an option, okay, somebody else can come and take away this slot, that means you're not really committed and serious. And that's the reason you're looking for recordings and stuff like that, or I will watch it later. There's even problems like internet is not working, should not come in place. You have to figure out, take a different internet connection, go to your friend's place. A level of seriousness should be there if you want something in your life. And that's the reason I want these sessions to be available only live 9 to 10, no backups. So that shows only those who deserve gets the content, not everybody. Okay? So that is why I want it to be only live and not available as recordings, because I don't want to give people the option that I'll watch it later. And that's one of my approach. Okay? Only committed people get rewarded as part of this activity. Okay? Next, that's the second update. But today's session, I'm going to keep the recording because it is going to be a lot of information shared, and I think it has to go through multiple repetitions for you people. So really understand everything very detailed way. Okay, that's the second thing. Now the third thing, today is the day 3. We are going to discuss primarily 2 topics as part of today. One is how end-to-end work happens in the IT project. Okay. Yeah. Okay. The third clarification, I have not shared grokking system. Okay. I have not shared grokking system with anyone. The reason being today we are going to discuss something about modularity and design. And after today's session, then I will be sharing that tomorrow with all the people, I will be sharing it. Okay? Because I don't want it to split the content into 2 pieces. So as part of today's session, we are going to do 2 things. Okay. One is how the end-to-end working processes in the company. Okay. And second, yesterday we noted down there are 4 sets. I said how a working professional or a job seeker should really do project related activities. 4 sets of work. Okay. Now the thing is, if you are going to, as per our day 1 related topic, going to claim that I did internship, so then you need to know how work happens in the company and how have you done your project, what are areas you focused upon. So that is genuine real work, whatever we are going to discuss today. So if you are claiming that I have done some internship somewhere, so today's session is going to be very valuable for you. Second, if you are claiming that you have some experience of something, then today's session is going to be very valuable for you. Okay? The third thing, okay, even as a fresher, if you don't say that I'm working anywhere, but if you understand today's session and if you try to talk in interview maximum terms that we discussed today, you will be able to impress interviewer like anything. They will know that you know a lot of stuff, and that will really put you in the top 20-30% of the candidates which are available. The terminologies, the concepts that we speak today, speak it out in interview, it will create a very positive impact, even for freshers, even if you're not saying you're in company. To understand things very properly, it's going to be pretty valuable. Okay? So chalo, let's get started. Let's get started, everybody. Sure. Okay, so first of all, let's take a very situation. Be along with me, okay? Take a very situation key. We want to develop a new requirement. Yesterday we said how to develop a project. As part of that, some of the members today shared me screenshot about the 10 use cases which they have identified. So that's a very positive thing. Okay, others also please do it. Now, let's say you have identified one use case that now we want to implement that use case in the system. Okay. Now, how exactly the process is going to be? First of all, the requirement will be given by something called as product owner. In agile terminology, there is something called as product owner. We'll get into more of agile later. Today, to the point, I'll try to simplify as much as possible. Okay? Product owner is going to give the requirement. Now, everybody clarifies the requirement. What needs to be done is now finally clear. Okay, we have to build so and so use case. Okay. Now, the thing is, let's assume I am one of the developer, you are one of the developer. We both are working on the project. Okay. All of a sudden, what happens is we are multiple people, a team of 5 members, you, me, plus there are other developers. We all together want to develop some list of features. So even though in our local laptops, we are going to be coding, but the code cannot be in the local machine. The code has to be available at one central place. Okay, many of you might already be aware of this, which is like your repository, Bitbucket, GitHub, SVN, some kind of central repository. Okay, that means all the people yesterday when we said you need to start working like project, I want you to work with a remote repository. Don't work in your local. Specifically freshers, you might not be aware. So Seeko, so the first learning is, let me share my notepad so that we can make some notes right away about it. Okay. Now, the first thing, you have to understand how to work with, let's say, central repositories. It could be Bitbucket, SVN, GitHub, and there could be a number of things. Free available, anybody can do it. So first of all, whatever project you're going to now code, yesterday we said you do a practical coding, maintain it that in a central repository. Okay, now this is the first step. Now that means one of the team member, let's say a senior member, he goes to the central repository, creates to Bitbucket or SVN or GitHub, wherever, and there he creates a project, which is called as a repository, which is going to have certain kind of code. And then maybe you will check out in your place and you will start further coding on top of that. So there is one repository which everybody then works with. Okay. Now, there is few things you need to understand. I'll not touch in deeper about it right now. So don't complicate it. But while working with this repository, you have to really follow branching model. How many of you are aware of branching model? Freshers, working professionals might be using it. Okay, freshers related, can you just type it in the chat? How many of you are aware of branching models? Working freshers. Okay. Okay. Hey, there are very few. Some are saying, I don't know. Okay. Okay. Now, guys, dekho, if you are going to say that you worked on a real-time project, this is important. Focus. I'll not get in much details, but you can find, dekho, I'm saying this program is a mentorship program. Whatever I tell here, if you just take those individual topics, go to YouTube, Google, you will find very detailed things. So I don't want to cover those things. I just want to make this as a central session where you can find all the pointers and then you can do the hard work for exploring it. And then you will get all the information. But core guidance missing, that's where I just did this kind of a packaging program. Now, branching model, I'll just keep it simple. There will be a master and master branch. Production always goes from the master, and every feature development happens from a development branch. So just understand this. Master goes to production. The code, so one repository we will create, one repo we will create on the Bitbucket. Okay, repo is a folder. One folder we will create on Bitbucket. Now, in that one folder, multiple versions will be maintained. One version will be called as, or one branch will be called as a master branch. Now, there is development branch, and there are more things. Hot fixes branch will be there, integration branch will be there, release branches will be there. So for now, let's keep it simple. There is a master branch, there is a development branch. If you are going to develop any feature, you will do it in a development branch. Just be aware of this. Further, go to Google, understand more about it. But right when you do the project development from tomorrow onwards, any project that you develop, don't do it in your local machine. Do it in, let's say, Bitbucket, SVN, free of cost. Experiment it. YouTube में 2 घंटे का video देख लो, start using it. Then you will get confidence about actual real-time project. Very important. Okay. Now the thing is, once you do this, the code available there. Now you need to understand, right from day one, this thing is going to happen. Second important thing, you straight away understand about environments. In companies, how do you really test your application? Yes, you develop it in your local and you try to test whatever possible in your local, but there are now UI people, server people, right? QA. So the project development happens with multiple people. So let's say there is one feature where UI and server is working together. So where will this code be integrated and tested? And then how we are going to give it to the QA? That means you need to understand what are these environments. And generally these are cloud-based environments. That is where DevOps work comes in picture, cloud-based. Okay. Or it could be on-premises. Different projects, different approach. On-premises, matlab, in your local itself, there will be some servers installed in your office environment itself, okay, where you are going to be able to work with all this. Okay. Now, the thing is, cloud-based as in AWS, Google platform, or Azure. These are cloud-based platforms. So the point is, generally, for projects, they might have a development environment. Thoda be with me. The session is going to be recorded and available. I would like you to be with me. Thoda socho. Development environment, QA environment, stage environment, and prod environment. So all the working professionals who are not getting proper exposure, you also focus here very properly. Okay, 4 environments: dev, QA, stage, prod. Now there is a full drama here. How to get your code, which is in your local machine, into these environments. Now, there are like branches versus this environment. Like master code goes here. Next, stage environment pe release branch code goes. QA environment pe integration branch code goes. Dev environment pe your feature branch code goes. Something. I'm just trying to give you some heads up. Ki whatever coding happens, there are branches and there is environment association. For now, just focus that if you are a developer developing of a feature, for working with UI guys, you would need to get into a dev environment. Okay, so thoda abhi let's understand things in a more detailed manner so that you can understand. But I'm telling you right from day one in your projects, you need to understand repositories. You need to understand these kind of tools which are available, SVN, Bitbucket, stuff like that. Plus, you need to understand environments because this is how real world projects are. And many people, they say that they have worked, but they don't know about this. And that's where in the beginning itself, they are confused like what's happening here. Okay. Now, the thing is, now let's say yesterday you have written down one feature. Okay. And you want to now develop it. We said one person creates a repository, creates maybe a development branch, and then you have your development branch with you. Abhi coding start karna hai. Okay. Now, just see how this happens. Be along with me. We are going to cover from multiple angles. Now, about to start coding. There are now, let's say, one feature. 3 people are going to work on this feature. One UI person, one server person. Guys, I'm telling you, this knowledge is required to confidently speak it in interview. And that shows that you know real-time stuff. Okay, one UI person is there, one server person is there, and one QA person is there. Now the feature development is about to start. Okay. Now, first of all the three guys come on the same page what the feature is, and then they all need to start their own work. Tester starts writing the test cases. Server and the UI guys start with doing their coding. Okay, both the work starts happening in parallel. Now, how exactly this UI and the server will do? Step number one. Now, let me put it like this for you. Okay, a second. I will take all the sets which we completed yesterday. We just took like 7 minutes yesterday, right? In the end, we showed something. A second. Here it is. I'll paste it here. So I said where it is. My reference, copy. Yeah. एक एक करके इधर से समझते हैं. So we need to understand all of this while now we are working. This is really in a broken manner. Let me do a full screen. Okay. So first of all, we went here. Set 2. Here, apart from this basic tools, there will be something else we are going to cover. We understood something like branching and all that will be required. Next, something like environment knowledge will be required. Okay, so set 2 related at least few basic things we are doing. And now as part of today's session, we are even going to discuss the end-to-end working process of a project. So around this set 2 activities, we are already discussing right now. So this is in progress. Okay, so set 2 is covered. I can just move it in a prior line here. Okay, discussed. We will discuss more about these tools and all that. So I'm not going to go in very details of everything, but yeah, we'll talk something about development process ka bhi along with me. So tools ki thoda sa baat hoga, this is done. Now you are about to do the development. Now there are these three guys. Now what is required to happen always? Dekho, let's say yesterday we said an Amazon example. Okay, a user logs in and he has to see all the list of products on Amazon. Right, homepage mein there are a lot of products available. Mobile mil raha hai, laptop mil raha hai, this, that, blah, blah, blah. There are products, images, pricing and offers, blah, blah, blah. It's all there in the homepage. That means now you need to understand UI is going to have his own code repository. Server is going to have its own code repository. So they are not working in the same code base. UI might have their own repository and in fact set of repositories. 3-4 repositories rahenge. Server guys will have multiple repositories. Now, why that multiple repositories come as part of the architecture decision? I have seen like 50 repositories in one project. I have seen 100 repositories in one project. The big projects go to even that level. And what are these repositories like? Microservices concepts. Every service should do one specific kind of work. And then they create a different repository, different folder in Bitbucket for that. That different project itself becomes like one service. And like this, multiple services are there. And everything may be a Spring Boot service, microservice, or Python service, whatever, which can run independently. So just be aware, this is how the world works. Server guys will have multiple repositories. UI might have multiple repositories. So just be understanding of that. Everything does not happen in one single project. There are different folders, different repositories, okay, full on. Now the thing is how the UI and the server guys are going to start their discussion. First, they will understand what the feature is. Okay, we want to develop, let's say, products. So for showing the list of products, there has to be one API. Okay. So one API, what is an API? The server guys is going to expose some method which will be called by the UI team. Right? So server ka project hai. In their project, there is a Spring controller or whatever or Python. Somehow a HTTP endpoint needs to be exposed. On the server side, an HTTP endpoint needs to be exposed. A second, let me do it like this. I'm sharing my screen as well. So more than words. We can see something here. Okay. So now let's say this is a server. This is server. This is a UI. So actually both will be different repositories. Now, if the UI wants to show that list of product, so the server should expose an API. API is nothing but a method which will be called by this UI team. And then this service does whatever internal drama. That internal drama is the server side architecture will be followed. And then, but as a response, will give the response. This is nothing but here an API has to be returned. Okay. So the conversation will be UI member and the server member. They will decide what should be the name of this API, what should be the request structure, what should be the response structure. That needs to get agreed before the development starts. Now, in our case, the use case which we are talking, okay, so the people might say, okay, let's say company name.com domain, generally kya hota hai, okay, https:// let's say it is xyz.com or company name.com /user/products. This is what, not production, products. This is what is called as endpoint. There might be in the backend side, you will write a method which gets invoked, or here you can say get products. Or this is what, this thing get all products. This kind of one, this is an API. So UI and the server members together will discuss what should be this API, what should be the naming, what should be the path and everything. Next. So this is going to be a method which is going to be implemented at the backend side. This method is going to have a request structure and it is going to have a response structure. Okay. यहाँ पे कुछ करके end में return some response object. Now the thing is, what should be this request structure and what should be the response structure? You need to even discuss that. Okay, for example, request is going to be a maybe kind of a JSON string where it has, okay, maybe let's say some type. He's a new customer. It completely depends on the logic. New customer. There could be like new customer ko show a different product, existing customer ko show a different. So let's say there is a type as the field. Next, in response, it's an again JSON, and in the response, it could have list of products. And this is going to be a list, which the backend logic, you guys are going to implement here some logic. Prepare a list of products, give this list back on the UI, so the UI can take it and process it. This is called as API contract. So the first step will be the API contracts needs to be finalized between the UI and the server. Now, this is where it comes. Let's go to the set one, what we discussed about API standards. While defining these APIs, what are the best practices? You need to now go to YouTube, Google it, read the best practices of API defining. And I've already given some example, and as part of today's notes, I will be sharing this also. What should be the endpoint URL, like full path? How is the naming followed? Where, what methods of HTTP can be used? How the response processing should happen? How the request structure should be, and how the response structure should be. Request and response structure. Now this, now you go Google, and when in interview, when you talk about APIs, speak like, hey, we have always been using, following the right standards for developing APIs, where we use the HTTP 200 for this, and we had like get method should not have any modification logic. For any edits, we used to use always post method. The naming of the URL should be like this. Interviewer knows you actually know stuff, which is real. Coding to ganda bhi ho sakta hai. But now this becomes special value add, right? This is how. So by this way, this point gets covered. Okay, standards kaise hote hain? Fine. Now you Google it. Thoda, guys, 2 ghante ka bhi kaam nahi hai. If you dedicatedly do it for 2 hours, you will understand what are the standards, and knowing something is enough. You don't have to master it. 2 घंटे, within 2 hours you can understand. Now the point is, now this, once you understand this contract, both UI developer and server developer starts working independently. Now there is no relation or no dependency between these two. How that can happen? They are not dependent on each other. Now they can fully complete their code. Why? थोड़ा यहाँ पे API contract defining में one very important thing is, you have to understand all possible types of response that can come. You guys have to cover this. Okay, which includes success के case में what will be the response structure? If it is failed, what will be the response structures? And you need to think about connection timeout cases over internet. If the internet is gone, what should happen on the UI side? Is that also handled in the code? You guys have to think about that. Success, what will happen? Fail, what will happen? And connection timeout, what will happen? And guys, these are one-time basics and it applies for every project that you take. You just have to learn it once and you can apply it throughout your life. It is that simple. Okay. Now, what needs to happen when you say success, fail, and connection timeout? So you need to, UI and the server members together discuss about how this response will be coming here. So generally, people might say, hey, if we return a response code HTTP 200, you should assume that it is a success response and consider like that in the processing. So that is one way of doing it. Now, there are n number of ways of doing it. You need to understand what is the standard way of doing. One server guy might say, if my API returns a 200, UI guy, you write the code in a manner, okay, if it is 200, process it in a success. If I give 500 or 400, consider that as failure. Okay, that is a way. And further, you might say, if the response code is coming as 400 and 500, then I am going to give another object called as error object, which is again a JSON having error code and error message. Now this becomes what is the possible. If it is success, so you're saying ki my logic is going to be based upon HTTP response code. If it is 200, consider success. Okay, 400, 500 to be considered failure. And whenever I give 400, 500, go to the object, check that there has to be an error object, and whatever is the code, in the code I might say 101, in the message I might say invalid user, something. Now this becomes defining what error is, and you have to agree that as part of API contract finalizing. Okay. Now this is where comes, spend some time in knowing what is the best way of doing it. Some people, what they do is they give a, rather than using HTTP code, they say, let's use a status field here. And we will give a value success or failure. Accordingly, when the server is returning a success and a failure in status, UI guy should handle that properly. And now this stuff needs to be agreed during the development, and it is a consistent way of handling across the entire project. So whatever is happening in your existing system, you should do the same thing. Don't develop something of your own. So if in your project, if there is other code already, see how they are doing the response handling and try to build a consistent application. Very important. Don't keep randomly kuch bhi banate mat baitho. Understand how other places are happening. And this is where comes, if you know what is, dekho, coding to kaise bhi ho sakta hai. This, that, you can write a method variable, you can write messy object structures, and coding can be completed. But when you explore internet and see what is the right way of handling error code, considering multilingual nature, server should give the different languages or UI should handle the different languages. What is the right way of doing, how to handle success, how to handle failure? If you do 2 days of exploring on this, you will get more maturity, and then you talk it in interview, it shows ki bhai, sensible bande se baat ho rahi hai. Not like just somebody who doesn't even know what he's doing. So this is where comes error handling also comes during this initial API contract designing phase itself. Okay. Now, once this thing is done, contract is defined, all these things are discussed, what can happen. In case of connection timeout, what kind of possible response might come. If everything is there, Then if you have any questions, now this is where it's important, you need to go back to your product owner, the person who gave requirement, and ask him, if this API fails, if the customer logs in and let's say there is a network timeout, what should be the UI page behavior? What should he see on the UI screen? If it failed due to invalid user, what should be the UI screen look like? What is success response handling, failure response handling? And that should be available as part of requirements in Jira. That is called as mockup, success failure handling, and both the possibilities and pending and connection timeouts. What should be the showing done to the UI customer? You need to have that clarity. It should be mentioned in requirements. Accordingly, you develop it. Now, this is where it is all happening. So, chalo, ye contract ho gaya. And now I already told, now once this thing is done, both UI and server should work independently. If in your project, even working professionals, I'm saying many projects, they don't work independently. They keep waiting. The UI says, hey, I'm waiting for server to start with my testing. That is wrong way of working. Okay. Once this thing is done, top agreement is done, what is going to happen? Both has to finish their work 100% independently. And not just their own work, even their own dev testing in local machines has to be done independently. How is it possible? Simple. Eh? UI team member, they have to mock. If you are Angular React guys in this call right now, you guys have to mock server response. And then write the code. If the server is returning me 200 status, then what code should I write? And then mock that kind of response. Now you have to understand, go to YouTube, search how to mock server responses on Angular or React or whatever is your framework on the UI. Then success failures mock karonge. Then all possible kind of failures you will mock, all like success case you will mock. Accordingly, you will write, and independently you can make sure everything is tested. UI guys can finish it. What does server developer do? Server guy develops everything. Server full development end to end, and server does not need a UI to do any testing. Why? Because it's just an API. Either you call it from the UI. Now, how technical people think? It's an API. If we give a proper response, UI guy responsibility is to develop it properly. If instead of calling it from a UI component, if you can call this API from some other component for testing. Okay, and this some other component, there is a tool, Postman. From a Postman kind of tool, free available, you call the same endpoint, and then for a success scenario, you should expect the success should come. For failure, it should come failure. Whatever is the contract initially discussed about what should happen for errors and all those, just try to see whether the code is working properly. That is how, that's the next step. Okay, UI can mock it. Server guy uses a tool here called as Postman in order to continue with their own testing. That's the next step. Okay, now, are you with me so far? Guys, put it in chat. Basically, freshers needs this kind of inputs, and those who are going to claim some internship and all. And if you're not getting real working environment, that's a problem. Guys, understand, somebody is saying that thoda confusing hai. Like, this is how real world happens, work. Okay, and then you have to know that. Okay, chalo, next stuff. Now, once this thing happens, fully independent chal raha hai. Now, the next area comes to server, ye ho gaya. Now they have to do the dev integration. Like UI and the server code should talk to each other. How is this going to happen? That is where comes the environment related knowledge. They might just say, okay, let's go ahead and deploy it on the dev environment, which is a AWS environment. You guys will build your local machine, okay, build a service, go to the AWS and just deploy it in, let's say, a dev environment. There are Dockers and all that also available. So understand how is the dev testing happening in your project. But simply you can say in AWS, we have a dev environment. There the server team deploys it. Okay. And accordingly, the UI from his local machine itself connects to that AWS server and does the testing. Okay. By this way, they do the dev integration testing and whatever. So when the dev integration testing is happening, then this mock is going to be removed and actually the UI is going to call the server. So with Postman, the server guy did his testing. Okay. The UI guy did it from his own side with mocks. Now then they are going to remove this mock and the code will be deployed on the server and the UI and the server will talk to one another. Guys, and let me tell, this is all very basic. If in an interview, if you don't have this understanding, that just means you have not worked on any project, because this is how it happens. And for job, kya hi job chahiye if you cannot understand the basic things of how to do things? That's where understand it clearly. Session will be recorded. Watch again. If there is any kind of doubt, go through it multiple times. पहले बार नहीं समझेगा, but when you repeat it 5 times, something will start making sense. And then go to Google and other stuff. Now the further thing. ठीक है, चलो, be with me. Next, what happens? So server हो गया, यहाँ आ गया. Now the thing is, now while this coding is happening, अभी code को touch करते हैं. But I'm trying to relate the best practice is what you need to focus along with the process. Okay. Now, when the coding starts, there are 2 things which will come. First is going to be design and modularity, because that comes as the first. Without design and modularity, you cannot code. The first thing will be design modularity. Next comes the rest of the things, which includes all of this. Okay. Yeah, API testing Postman, we covered it. So I'll just move it like discussed. Next, estimations. Yes, we will talk about estimations. Let's not try to mix multiple things, and these all things we will talk. Now, simple. These 4 things, if you see, design and modularity, following coding standards, basics of database, API security, these are default for every real-time project. Without this, project coding cannot be done. It's very simple. It's required for every project. So if you don't know it, you have to know it, because without this, projects are not there in industry. And that's what, when you talk from this angle, it will give a lot of confidence to the interviewer. Okay. Now, simple design and modularity ke liye, first of all, we already said yesterday ki that document, today now I will share it. Okay, that document is going to be available. As part of that, you can go through it. Facebook, Twitter, multiple examples there, and they talk about infrastructure and design and architecture, how the load balances, how the internal services are, who calls what, all of that drama. Okay? But now let me try to even give a very simpler version. As simple as what is design and modularity. Keeping it simple, let's say you have this. Product is there. The user is trying to call get product API, right? Get all product API. The user is calling the get all product API. Point is, it might go to, let's say, the entry level service, which is also called as gateway or API gateway. It could be actual AWS API gateway, which is a paid software of AWS, or it could be simply implemented with Nginx. Some kind of entry software will be there, where all the requests coming into the system will first fall at this place. That becomes a different service, a different code managed. Okay. Now, when we speak modularity, it means everything should not be at the same place. It has to be clear. It has to be, that's what is architecture. How many services you have, why those many services, how these services will talk to each other, where is the load balance setting, where is auto scaling going to happen, how they are talking to the database, how is the, all this drama is architecture. Once you read that document, which I will share you by tomorrow, you will get clarity. But keeping it simple, I'm saying there has to be many services which do their own work, explore microservices concept, and then accordingly try to just understand. For example, in this case itself, we want to show list of products. Okay, so API gateway ko user has said get products. Now there might be a different service here called as a product service. product service, which is nothing but a different repository in AWS, which talks to, now this is where comes responsibility. There is a database here behind the screen, which is called as a product database, which is a schema, product DB. It is called as basically a DB schema, and only product service is allowed to access product schema. No other service in this full system can access it. That's the boundary you have to define. Okay, even if let's say some other service is there, payment service wants something from product, they cannot directly connect to product. They have to make an API call to product service, and then product service makes the call here. These are coming as part of the architecture and design. One service talks to here. Networking wise, access will be provided. Okay, only from this instance, connections can be opened for this schema, not from any other places. This becomes architecture. Now, there could be something else, right? So when the user is trying to see list of products, maybe do you want to really check whether the user is authenticated properly? There might be a separate service lying somewhere called as login service. Okay. Next, if the user is doing orders, there might be some other service in the system called as order service or payment service. One payment service. Now, if in the system you have, let's say, talking to Axis Bank, there could be another service created, okay, Axis Bank connector. By this way, more and more logic gets built up. There could be another service called as, let's say, SGFC Bank or credit card processing. Now, this is what is microservices, everybody doing their own role. And then payment service can talk to this. Payment service can talk to this. Now you have to define, can these core services talk to each other or not? That's an architectural decision. And then, yes, no, it's a violation. We cannot allow core services to talk. If this guy wants to get any information from Axis Bank connector, first of all, why is a HDFC Bank connector code required to get anything from Axis Bank? It's not required. So there has to be no call, API call between these two places. It's a violation. Even if they want something, you have to reach back to your payment adapter, and this guy calls this and gets the data. Now, all of this drama comes as part of your designing and modularity. How did we say? You have to figure out how many services actually are required for some processing. Which service does what kind of work, how it talks to the database, who are allowed to talk to that database, who is not allowed to talk to that database. All this becomes part of design and modularity. And then this API gateway keeper now makes that decision. I want a list of products. First, verify that the user is valid, makes an API call here. If the user is valid, then take this API call and then maybe call to the product service. Product service connects to the database, gives the response, and then the response comes back here. This list is now given back to the UI. This is how the process happens. Now, this internal flow of communication, right? First, validate the user. If the user is valid, make a call to some other service, which goes to the database, pulls up all the list of products, consolidates a list, gives the list back to API like gateway keeper, and this guy responds it back to the UI. This everything becomes the architectural decision, okay, how your application should be built. And this is what I say when we are using this term design and modularity. पहले तो architectural पे सोचना पड़ेगा. Then comes, how are you going to do coding inside product service, inside payment service? वो individual coding बाद में आता है. First comes this high level plan, high level design, high level architecture, okay, how these all pieces will be. Then comes internal, how you should really code. अब वहां पे तो you guys are already clear. Simple MVC. Product service should have its own set of MVC principles. There has to be a controller package for all the controllers. If API gateway wants to, let's say, this service wants to talk to a product service, all the code should be available as part of some controllers. That is the entry point. Then there has to be a service layer. The service layer methods should always be first having an interface, then having an implementation. Similarly, database should first have an interface, then has to be an implementation. So these are the basic project level packaging. First comes this architecture. Then comes project level coding. Simple MVC you can apply there, which includes writing a controller package and controller service. Next, having service interfaces. There are reasons why interface has to be there, because in future, if you want to develop a different implementation, your rest of the system does not change. So service interface and IMPL class. Next, if you want to connect to this database, product service wants to talk to this database, there will be a different class here called as product DAO, and which is having its own DAO interface and DAO IMPL. There could be some now custom exceptions. These could be other packages or classes. There could be util classes. Okay. So these now become the basic project level composition. And यहाँ पे थोड़ा सा coding related design practices will come also. Nothing but like your design patterns, like how the code, how the object structure should be, how you should use collections. And there are so many design patterns. All that practices now you can apply as part of these layers. So, दो level का होता है, एक architecture, second going into the project level. Keep it simple. MVC जो होता है, if you can do the project categorization like that, so every of your project will start having it. Now, when you are doing the project preparation, yesterday what we said, you build your own project. Make sure you're not coding everything in one place. It's wrong. UI code has to be separate. Server code has to be in multiple repositories. And when you talk to database, there has to be different schemas. Axis Bank will talk to a Axis Bank schema to get Axis Bank details. Products alag maintained hai, and these all places are different. So thoda sa try to put it like this, and you will get more clarity on this once you're reading the design document. So all these decisions happen before somebody even starts coding, and that is what comes as part of this phase. Design and modularity. Here is this section. Okay. Now, once this is done, okay, now how is it? Are you guys catching it? Are you understanding? How is it going? Can you just put something in chat? Okay. Okay. People are getting it, catching it. Very good, very good, very good. Nice. Socho. ठीक है? देखो, some, okay. Somebody is saying कि understanding a bit. Somebody is saying कि yes, understood very good. Somebody is saying कि थोड़ा थोड़ा समझ रहा है. Okay. Yes. Yeah. Now the thing is, next, once you know this modularity design, then the people get into coding, where you actually try to build that logic. Okay. And as part of this logic, now yesterday we said, go ahead, Google about the coding standards as part of your project which you are using. The UI वाले UI के standards देखो, server देखो, database देखो. Now as part of this, even like how should be the database structure, yesterday we already discussed. Make sure that you are using primary keys, foreign keys properly. Wherever required, indexes should be implemented properly. Which queries you are using in your where clause for joining, be careful about that. थोड़ा सोचो इसका. Basic knowledge of PL SQL is required. You need to know how to create database table. This much knowledge is mandatory for every application developer. So these two things we already spoke about yesterday itself, coding and basics of database. So same step, so just Google it and you will be able to better understand and start moving in this direction. Okay. Now the next thing. Functional to bana rahe, but before getting to the functional part, all this comes because you want to do functional. Okay. Now there are these two things which we need to understand: logging and API security. Okay. Now, देखो, understand this diagram. This API get product is publicly open API. थोड़ा समझो. That means server has developed an API which is publicly open. What does that mean? From customer browser. If you are accessing Amazon.com on your web browser, Google Chrome, from the Chrome, this API is going to be invoked, which is lying somewhere in production system of the backend system, right? So it's a publicly open endpoint. That's what they say. And now you need to understand, whatever is publicly open, that means anybody else can also call that API. And that's the reason in production, a lot of attacks happen. DDoS attacks. Okay, in my system, it has happened multiple times. Like, okay, and vulnerabilities will be there. Production risks are there. There are cases where I've seen some emails floating around. Give us so many bitcoins of money. Otherwise, we are going to crack your database. We have access to your database because you had a leak. So we are going to exploit it more. Okay, and all that kind of drama happens. Production में ये सब hackers and all, they try to exploit big systems. So वहाँ पे एक different level of stuff comes. But just imagine when you are writing a publicly exposed endpoint, that means not just your UI, but anybody else in the world can also call that. And when they call, you have to protect before giving this request to payment system, product service, login service, to anybody. Because you cannot pass unauthorized requests to your internal systems. If you do that, you never know. SQL injections attack might come and they might clean up your entire data, steal your entire data, crash your servers. They can do n number of drama. So any request coming to your system, you cannot straight away pass it to the backend layer. That is where you need to make sure that you understand authentication and authorization principles properly. This is basic for every developer. JWT token knowledge, OAuth token knowledge, how to do public and private key-based encryption. Very basic stuff. SSL encryptions rahega. Somebody while sending the request, they will encrypt using a certificate. When it comes to the backend side, they decrypt it using the certificate, process it. If it is valid, then only further give it to the system. Then take it back, again put it into a certificate, then give it back. The UI considers like that. Now coding it's like that. SHA algorithms will be there. Okay, SHA 256 and all that kind of the wahan pe bhi logics. So you have to understand these basic security related protocols, and before any request comes to the system, how do you properly validate it? Okay. Now, there is even some more concepts here, but time is up. We have still 3 minutes. We have to cover these other topics also, like third-party integrations and all. Wahan pe bhi ye certificates and all become very critical. So understand, before processing the request in the system, you need to know about security, because without that, if you straight away start giving, you will cause problem. Let's say you're developing a bank, HDFC, and you have given some endpoint. Okay, customer ID iska balance dikha do, right? And now if I am a hacker, I just pass something in my request, I pass data for some other customer. And if I try to get his data, your system should be able to protect it properly. You should understand, hey, this ID is not authorized for this person. It is allowed for some other person itself. So all that comes in picture. So next point comes for you is authorization and authentication and session management, token management, life of that token. All those concepts come here. And then once it is validated and is active right now, then only the request should be allowed into the system. So that concept is mandatory for every project. Without this, it cannot really go to production. That comes this. Now you need to now study and understand each of this topic. What is the right way of doing? And when you talk like this in interview, it shows that you actually know stuff. If for now, this is going to be on YouTube. The link I'm going to share, watch it again. But every topic is an independent 2 hours of topic for you to explore. I'm not saying that this session is self-sufficient. It acts like an index basically. Now you take a topic, go to internet and build your project accordingly. And let me tell you, 10 use cases yesterday we discussed. Implement these 10 use cases. You will grow so much in confidence. Arey, bhai sahab, meko to sab aata hai. Guys, 50,000 people applied, 500 were selected. That means so many were not even knowing the knowledge. And unfortunate truth, right now in this call, if I do an interview rounds, 80% people will be rejected. And I know it is going to happen. Whether you like or not, I don't care, because that's the truth. We interviewed so many people, and since 8 years I have been interviewing, I know the ratio of success and failure. And the reason is people don't know these things. If they don't know, companies are not going to babysit you and teach you. You have to know stuff. Company hires you so that you can come and work. And even guys, it's all up to you. Freely available on internet. Not knowing means that you're not really committed. Okay? So fine, I'll just like to stop the session here. API security. We are going to do communication related drill right now. So first, itna karke we'll stop. Tomorrow when we connect, we will continue with the remaining topics, because this is really required information and almost the topics are ending. Few things karenge, and then dekho, the further plan is we will speak on job hunting. Maybe if time permits, tomorrow itself we will speak on job hunting, and this closure of this topic plus job hunting. And Friday ke usme, let's do a practical drill, implementation day. Let's check whatever we discuss in these 4 days, Monday to Thursday, how much we have done, how much is pending, what should be your next actions in each of it. Are you clear in how you should position yourself, or are you having doubts? Are you clear in core concepts, framework knowledge, and this project related things, and this communications stuff and coding related things, where you have to prepare, and then you have to plan from Monday onwards what should be your study plan. Plus, we are going to discuss about job hunting techniques also. Naukri se nahi aa raha, isse nahi aa raha, but there is a workaround. There is a process for everything. We will discuss that tomorrow. Then if you want, if you say, I'm already prepared, I want to do more job hunting, maybe 8 hours do job hunting, 2 hours preparation. If you say, no, I'm not that good in all these concepts, I need to do 6 hours of preparation daily, do it. But daily 10 ghanta work you have to do. And then 4th point will come. So there are 4 things we said on the day 1. 4 things for getting a job. First, are you positioning yourself properly? Second, okay, are you prepared properly? Right now we are in preparation itself, because that is deep, because people get rejected. Are you prepared properly? Third, are you job hunting properly, which we are going to discuss tomorrow. And then comes 4th, are you able to consistently take actions on whatever we have learned till the time you get job? And that is the mystery. Many people, after 2 weeks, their full motivation will disappear. If you can crack these 4 steps, you will get the job. And for the 4th step, full stage 2 of this program is there, where how to take constant actions on all these things we are learning, how to plan your weeks, how to execute your weeks, how to get progress, how to get project done, preparation done. It's going to be an amazing stage 2 as well. Okay? Fine. This is what for today. Let me quickly share you the attendance link for today. Go through the session again. YouTube link bhi deta hu. It's already streamed on YouTube. I'm first pasting the YouTube link in the chat, everyone. Just bookmark this. Yeah, communication class now we will start. We'll take a 5 minutes break and then we'll start with communication class. Okay. Okay. Today's YouTube link. Okay, somebody says 15 minutes break. Okay, I'll check. 10:15 ko, yes, we will connect. So this is YouTube link. Wait, guys, mark the attendance. Whoever is giving attendance, I will give them the grokking related document. And please mark this LinkedIn related blog post. Blog post is this. Okay. Next, today we created a WhatsApp group and I gave you the WhatsApp group link as well. I will paste that WhatsApp group so that I can communicate more faster with you people, because there are many, so we can have a broadcast communication. So if you are not there in WhatsApp, please join this group. And now let me give the last one, the attendance for today. Okay, and guys, even if it is first time, but point is you need to know these things, because this is what is actual work. And I know in college to ye sab pata nahi hota hai. But even those who are actually doing real projects as part of internship, they get awareness of this in bits and pieces. And that's where it's required. Now, let me give you the final attendance. Array, that's what I'm saying. Attendance, PDF I will give today. Right from beginning, I am saying, guys, thoda focus. Keep listening to what I say. I said I did not give it because today we discussed more about that modular and architecture. So I gave that context first, then I gave it to you. Okay. So today I will work on this, and tomorrow I will give you the Grok-Inca document and notes about this, everything. ठीक है, चलो mark your attendance. I can't see attendance link. Just now I pasted, I'm pasting it once more, एक second. Code is 5555. And guys, it is same attendance link every single day. Pasted right now again. Please check it, guys, in the chat. Pasted just now. Bookmark this attendance link also, it is on a daily basis. Guys, all the questions, you put it as part of the form, we will take it up. Okay, there are still time. I will arrange for further Q&A sessions. Okay, we will arrange sessions. First, थोड़ा understand करने की कोशिश करो what we know. Yes, code is 5555. Mark it in attendance. Okay, team. Chalo, and we will keep the Zoom active. Communication drill we will start in 10 minutes from now. Right now it is 10:05. We will start on 10:15. ठीक है? फिर साथ में communication पे काम करते हैं. ठीक है? Whoever is interested to learn communication, join back in 10 minutes. I'm keeping the Zoom call alert. ठीक है? चलो. Carry on and see you guys shortly. Thanks. Bye. Okay, guys, I have again pasted the links, everyone, in the chat. Attendance, WhatsApp, and YouTube link, as well as daily notes link. It's there in the chat too. Thank you. Okay, okay. Chalo, everybody. Good evening, back again. Chalo, everyone. Hello. Let's go. Dekhte who are there. Just put it in the chat if you guys are available right now in call. Everybody, chalo, let's feel as if it's a new session starting all together. Bhul jao ke since past 1 hour we are doing session. It's a new start. It's a new beginning, everybody. Okay, chalo, everyone. Get up, come on. Okay. Now there are techniques. Okay, there are techniques how to generate this kind of energy, all to excitement. And guys, dekho, I'm working morning 10 to 7. Plus I'm leading like 40 members team. And there are so many things to do. And along with that, we are doing this session. We are waking up in the morning. I'm doing morning sessions also with the group. Morning 6:30 to 7:30, we do morning sessions. Then 10 to 7, we do office work. Then 9 to 10, we are doing career transformation. And now 10 to sometime, we are doing communication related. And tomorrow day will start again. I'll wake up in the morning 6:15 and my morning routine session will also start. And amazing results are happening because I know certain strategies which are going to make our life successful, and I'm living that and I'm trying to share it with you guys as well. Okay? So chalo, everybody, let's get started. Communication. Chalo. Pani ka gaya? 1 second. Yeah, here itself is water. Okay, I'll just quickly tell you few tips of how to get this kind of energy. Okay? First is somewhere I explored energy you can create by your physical actions. Okay, so it is not just anything else. If you just physically move right now, if you stand, you just jump on the spot, you put some cold water on your face, you drink some water, and you just jump like this. Okay, so it just creates energy. And that is what it is. I just right now, before starting and coming on video, I did like 2 minutes ke liye spot jumping, skipping, washed my face, and then just prepared up. And now I'm feeling so much fresh and like, chalo, ek aur ghanta baith jate hain. So energy can be created. Now that's amazing. Okay, but chalo, it's not going to be for 1 hour. Okay, we will keep it short. I will just tell you what we are doing and how we are going to improve in communication. Okay, and very short, maybe maximum 20 minutes, something like that, discussions we will do. I'll just launch it with you. What is thing we are doing here? Okay, first of all, you guys are supposed to do it. That's where it will happen. Communication is not something by theory it will improve. It can improve only with practice. And you know it, it's required for interview cracking, project talking, and everything. Okay, and the thing is we have to learn communication the way natural language happens. Right? When you were a newborn baby, how did you learn a language? You just consumed for 2 years. Your brain was not even able to process it. You heard words, papa, dada, chacha, mama, mummy, right? And you just consumed that. After 2 years, you started speaking. The brain is designed like that. We just need to use that. It is just 2 models, guys. How do you learn communication? Just 2 models. The raw human way of learning, consuming more, speaking more, doing it long enough. But now the thing is, when we were child, it took 2-3 years because the brain was not able to process. Now we have intelligence. We have conscious brain who can think, analyze, plan. Using this, we can learn it in next 3 months, 6 months. You will be way better than who you are right now. So you need to first understand anybody can learn communication. It is just another skill, and you can get really good in that in just a matter of time. This is what it is. Now, let me tell you why my communication is good. It is because the college time, like 2007, whatever we did our like education. So every single day. Now, I'm telling you the truth, how my communication became so much good. Otherwise, we did not do it. Okay, how it became good is during college time, for like 4 hours, 5 hours every single day, we used to watch a lot of movies, like Hollywood movies with English subtitles. Okay, पूरे के पूरे Fast and Furious की series देख लिए, ये Harry Potter series देख लिए, or like Pirates of Caribbean, this, that. We used to watch so many videos, so many movies every single day for 3 to 4 years of time. Now what happened is, the brain somewhere just absorbed it. Okay, communication happens just like that. You see people, you listen to them, if you're not understanding something, subtitles are there. And in the beginning, we used to miss the words ki kya bol raha hai, nahi samajh raha, pause karo, reverse it back, repeat it, and then oh, aise bol raha hai. And then what happens is the brain starts analyzing things. That is consumption. For 4 years, we did that. And then later on, I did a kind of a job before getting into the IT. It was a kind of training job. And there I spoke for 6 months, daily 10 to 11 hours. That was my job, project explanation. Okay. So 10 to 11 hours, I used to speak non-stop. It came to a point that blood used to come from my throat. But I'm telling you, itna baat kiya hai life mein, and I have consumed so much. That all activity which I did 15 years ago, because of that, I am able to enjoy my full life good in communication. I got bigger project opportunities. I was able to create an amazing impression in front of clients. And they all started saying, Bhai, we want Tausif in our project. That's the image which I created. I continuously kept getting a bigger promotion, bigger hikes, bigger designation, bigger responsibility. I'm able to create that kind of a leadership environment within my team. Right now, we are 142 people, but I'm able to still create an environment where we feel connected and on a mission to improve and become good. Why? Because somewhere I learned these skills, and that really helps to me to even drive my 40-member team right now. And they are like, what? I have architects, I have technical leads, I have scrum masters, and these are people having 10 years of experience. So from juniors to 10 years of experience, clients, CTOs, they have like 25 years of experience. And then I am representing from my India side to work with so many of these people. How? Communication is one very important area for that. And I'm not just saying talking communication. I'm saying clarity in communication. What we will do, what we will not do, why we will not do that, what is the best thing that we can do, and then all of that basically. Okay? Abhi, now the thing is, how do we really do it? Okay? Again, it's a practice which will happen if you do it daily, and you have to start it right from today onwards. Okay? Basically start from tomorrow. Chalo, aaj ka din absorb karte. Now, what it is, we have already started a communication improvement program. So this is not, so I'm going to allow you to join as part of that program. It is free again. Okay. It is a 90-day communication challenge where we are going to daily work on our communication abilities based upon these two fundas: consume more, speak more. It will automatically improve in 90 days. Way better than who you are right now. You will be more confident, more better, and it will come with only practice. Consistency is the key. So what we are doing is every day 10 p.m. all of you guys are supposed to do some activities at your side independently without anybody else. So I'm not going to come and join on Zoom and do it. Every day 10 p.m. reserve a 30-minute slot where you practice communication. Okay, what we are supposed to do as part of that, I will tell you what activities are going to be there. But daily 10 to 10:30 reserve for communication preparation. Do some activities there, which I will discuss with you right now. And then we repeat it Monday to Thursday, and maybe even you do it on weekends. But Friday ke liye, then we will together connect on a weekly call. Okay, in my company, in the projects, basically, we have weekly checkpoints. Every week, there are recurring calls and meetings where we check the progress, how we are doing. Are we really improving, not improving? Where are we making the mistake? That kind of a weekly connect, you meet together, all the guys who wants to improve in that. Every Friday, we will do that. And then we will analyze ki last week, what activities we actually did for communication. Were we able to consistently do it? If yes, did we see any improvement? If no, why were we not able to stay consistent? And then plan how in the next week we will try to be more consistent there. A weekly checkpoint connect. Are we really improving? Okay. And I've really built it up into a system of tracking it with ease. So it is not going to be random and all. So right now, first, I will share my screen. I will show it to you what all activities we are supposed to do on a daily basis. And now you have to then plan and how to do it. And guys, it is very simple. It is not something ki additionally we have to arrange time for doing it. Okay. This communication improvement, you apply this along with your technical knowledge improvement that you are doing. Okay. Nothing but let's say you will be taking up some trainings or courses or anything. right? You are learning everything right now, right? So you have to make whatever you're learning, your concepts, technology, that you do in a manner that you even learn communication as part of that. Next, whatever you are learning, build a process around in your life where you start explaining these things to other people. Okay, interview questions, how to explain projects, daily start speaking that for maybe 30 minutes or sometime like that. And slowly, when you speak more, consume more, and we will create like collaborative groups. That's already in the plan. Very shortly, we are going to start. Collaboratively, we will be like you guys connecting with each other and doing a brainstorming discussion for like 30 minutes where you guys share your ideas. And yes, we all know that we are on a learning curve of communication. ठीक है, तो ऐसे करेंगे 90 days तक in one shot without any break. Weekends में थोड़ा छोड़ दो, it's fine. Weekly we will connect together. Daily 10 p.m. you will do it independently. But I am doing a tracking of that. So the way we do after our program is done, then we mark our attendance. Like that, there is a separate attendance which we are tracking for communication, which people are filling on a day-to-day basis. So let me show you a few things. Then we will discuss the activities on what you should do on a daily basis. And right from tomorrow, get started with that. I guarantee you, in 90 days from now, you will be way better than who you are right now if you're doing activity. And from my side, there is an easy tracking system of doing it. Next, weekly basis pay, we will come together. We will check whether we did it, not did it. Are we seeing improvement, no improvement? And then we will go forward. And if you build a process and a system, the results are guaranteed. That's how IT, why am I able to get results with my project is because it runs based upon process and systems. It's repetitive. We are able to get the work properly on time because everything is predictable, a repetitive system. That's what we are trying to do as part of this also communication. Okay? So I'm sharing the screen to show you guys a few things. And first of all, to get into this belief, it's possible to do it. It's not hard at all. It's nothing rocket science. Everybody can do it. You just need to get started. Keep that mindset. The way a baby learned a language, yaar, Hindi seekh liye tum log aaram se, or whatever is your regional language. Okay? Now, let me show you this stuff. Let's get started. Okay, sharing the screen, team. Just look here. Okay, so basically, this is a report. I want to tell you the truth. The problems with human beings and for majority of the human being is, okay, and you need to understand and accept it. Okay, it is a problem if you are having that problem. Okay, people want to improve. They say, I want to do this, I want to do that. But when it comes to put efforts and work for doing that, majority are not able to do it. It's a hard truth of the world. And I can show you right here itself in the sheet. Just know it. Success and failure is very easy in life. Those who keeps doing and those who does it long enough, they will succeed. Those who will not do it, they will fail. And now it's up to you how much you can do and how much you cannot do. Just observe, we started this program, communication, on the same day for everybody. Yes, there are other members who joined in the journey. But if you can really see, we started 15 days ago or 16 days ago. And right now, if we see this tracker, you can see the spread. People are not able to stay consistent for 15 days. How will results come in life? You might have your reasons, excuses, and this happened in my life, that happened in my life, but nothing matters, right? You failed. As simple as that. The point is, as long as you keep justifying your failures with reasons, you will keep failing in life. You need to understand that. Thoda seriousness chahiye, tabhi jaake something happens. And this is what, understand, there are like what? Only these many people. Yahan pe ek chup gaya, yahan pe, okay. 11 people who have completed or crossed 10 days in communication. Rest everybody is less than 9, and we started almost at the same time. And you know what? Many of these people who started might have completely stopped also doing it. Now, the point is, at least with tracking, now I am very much sure majority of these people will struggle a lot in communication and they are never getting started. If you cannot be sincere to track your attendance, to track your daily progress, to come on weekly calls, that is not going to work out for you. And despite being free, being available, being accessible, If you're not able to do it, then God knows what will make you work. So first, I want to show you this already result, and you will be joining with this group itself. And now you take it a mission. It is a 90-day challenge. And there are people who started but stopped. There are people who started but are irregular. But there are people who started and are keeping on going. Now, the point is, I know that these guys will guaranteed improve if they continue doing it every single day and weekly basis, keep improving and analyzing. But I, at the same time, can guarantee rest of the people will have a lot of struggle if they are not starting. And you know what's the crazy thing here? If you don't start right now, it will keep delaying. एक महीने बाद शुरू करोगे तो you will get the result after, let's say, 4 months from now. Right now, in 3 months, you will get, if you start 1 month later, 4 months from now. If you start 2 months later, 5 months from now. The more you delay, because it is not a tablet, you can eat it and tomorrow you will know it. But can you be consistent? That's the question. And that's what success and failure is pretty predictable. Okay, fine. Now let's see. So I want to show you the truth. So just wanting to start is just the first step, and then doing it consistently, it's the actual game. You can daily mark attendance that will push you to do it. And every day after session, I will remind you, okay, please go and do communication. So by that way, you will be doing it. Now, what are the activities we are supposed to do? Okay. Now let me share the screen. Already screen is shared. Let me hide this. Now I will give you access for this Excel sheet. Okay, don't get confused here. This is one Brahmastra Excel sheet which I have created, which is like success sheet basically. Okay, and I will be training you guys, mentoring you guys for this sheet of how to become full successful. Right now you have like, I need to get the job. Right now you have like whatever your career related goal. I have built a system by which anybody can become successful at whatever they want. And this simple tracking Excel sheet, after a lot of peeling, I came up and I'm just giving it free for everybody. And then I'm helping people to apply. Now, don't get confused what it is. It has a lot of information. It has life-changing information. I know for the next 80 years, if you live based upon this Excel sheet and track your progress, amazing results will come in the life. How it is. Whatever now, just socho. I'll come to communication. Communication is one of the section of all this improvement, but I don't want you to get confused with what is all this. As part of stage 2 of career transformation, we will discuss about this. But the thing is, you need to define tasks which you will be doing it on a daily basis. Let's say right now we did job seeking, so many discussions in the past 3 days. So many action points came, what you are supposed to learn, what you're supposed to act. Tomorrow we will discuss job hunting process also. You have to put all of that as a list of tasks which you are supposed to do on a daily basis. Like daily 1 hour of coding, daily 1 hour of project related work, daily 1 hour of maybe taking up some other course, maybe daily 1 hour of like writing blog or doing something. By that way, you break it down into daily tasks and track it on a daily basis. Today is, let's say, 3rd May. Which activity I did, which activity I did not, which activity I did, which activity I did, and which activity I did not. By that way, if you track your progress on a daily basis, you will guaranteed know whether you will improve or you will not improve. The result in the end will be just like this. If you are not doing the things which are supposed to be done, you will not get the job. If you cannot follow the job hunting system, which we will discuss tomorrow, if you cannot work on the improvement tips, which we are discussing today, yesterday, and day before yesterday, on a daily basis, if you cannot do that, you will not get it. As simple as that. And this tool, where you track your progress, will tell you whether you will get it or not. You can predict your future. Agar 5 din tak consistently you are able to manage your tasks, that means there is hope, you will improve, and then you keep adding 6th day, 7th day, and this becomes your entire lifespan. Whatever goals you have, define it, write it down the task, and track your progress every single day. You can already predict future whether you will get your life goals or not. It's that simple. Nothing is random in life. Everything is predictable. Similarly, there are success habits. We will not spend too much time on the success habit. I just wanted to explain it here so that tasks and daily tracking is the secret of consistency. And now let's go to, isko chhod do, ignore it. Go to this communication section. What are we going to do as part of communication? Okay. Now, right from tomorrow onwards, you need to get started with this. And next, we will connect on this coming Friday, 10 p.m. for our weekly checkpoint, where we will discuss more about this. And then uske baad se weekly 10 p.m. we will start connecting. Now, what exactly it is? Two models: consume more, speak more. That's how you will improve in communication. And at the core, you have to believe that you can improve. It's just another language or whatever. Okay? Anything, anybody can learn it. That attitude should be there. Plus, consume more, speak more. Two things. What are we going to do here? Okay, first, you have to spend some time per week in exclusively learning communication skills. Okay, like how to talk, what to talk, words, vocabulary, and all that. And for doing that, I have already shared, I think, the members itself, our previous communication members itself. Okay, they itself, this is the attendance sheet. They itself shared some YouTube links where people are teaching communication to be done smoothly. There are we got 4 or 5 links about that. Now, the point is, on a weekly basis, first, now you decide on a weekly basis how much time you want to spend in actually learning communication. Where these guys, they go, point is, I don't want to reinvent the wheel. When the world is teaching it already, why should I teach it again? My work is to build a structure where you can do it, and that's what is mentorship. I don't want to spend time in again telling you how to correct your grammar, this, that. These guys are doing it and it's their job to do it. We can take the advantage of that as part of and just run it consistently and get results from it. Okay, that's what is my role in this world. Okay, to help people to do their kind of things by using the potential of other people. So what we are going to do here, you decide on a weekly basis how much hours you will spend in learning from these sources. But again, it cannot be theory. So first define. So it can be as simple as 2 hours a week or 3 hours a week, depending upon your job hunting, preparation and all that. इसीलिए 2 घंटा a week बोल रहे हैं. It's very easily possible. You can do it over weekend or any time. But important thing, okay? Another target, on a weekly basis, 5 hours, consume any language with proper subtitles. Your English language with proper subtitles. Now, point is, you do any Udemy course or whatever course, but subtitles should be enabled, and you have to set up a target. Okay, weekly 5 hours, I will be doing this activity. Next, weekly 5 hours, you will read something. Guys, make it all specific to your technology job hunting itself. Okay, read blogs, read articles, and try to read more vocabulary. Target it by weekly 5 hours you will read. Weekly 5 hours you will watch with subtitles. It could be inspiring movies, it could be your skill upgrade, Udemy, but with subtitles. The more you consume, you will process things properly. And I think many of you can understand English properly. Why? Because you're listening so much, you're watching so much, but baat karne mein problem rahega. And we have to remove that hesitation. For that, we come down, okay, to this activity. Every single day at 10 p.m., you need to record yourself. And many people applied this technique and they got results with this. What you are simply supposed to do, daily recording yourself. You start, many people might feel like a bit embarrassed, or like what people will laugh at me, kaise baat kar raha hai and all that, right? So yes, be with yourself. You don't need to talk to anybody. Till the time you get comfort, you talk to yourself and talk it properly. Lock yourself in a room, stand in front of mirror, look at yourself, take your phone, start speaking for 20 minutes in English, and maybe summarize your entire day. Okay, what all I did today. Next, summarize the technical learnings which you did today, the project which you did today, maybe the interview questions which are there, the concepts which you will explain in interview, but speak properly for 20 minutes minimum every single day. The more you do it, the more better for you. Now, what will happen is you have to focus on few things. Right now, we are saying, okay, go slow, speak loud, try to pronounce properly. Okay, these are the three things. When we are saying ke record yourself, we are saying here, I'll add a note. Okay, speak loud. Okay, clear pronunciation and go slow. You can speak as fast as you can, but point is, I'm saying go slow. Tell every word properly. Focus on pronouncing every word properly, loud and clear. Guys, how do you learn driving? Starting में बैठ के accelerator मार के भगाते नहीं हो. You start with slow speed. That's what your whoever taught you might have showed. धीरे धीरे करने, automatically you can run it. Like that communication, start with pronouncing every word properly, slow and with pauses. That is your stage one, which you need to master. You need to speak loud, clear, pronounce the word properly. That is your first level of mastery. Plus, on top of that, whatever techniques these guys are teaching, start experimenting that on a daily basis for 20 minutes minimum as part of this self. And then when you're even consuming this, subconsciously, your brain is learning all these things. When you're reading it, grammar, vocabulary bhi theek hone lag jayega. And try to read it loud. That will also add a lot of value. Okay? So this is what it is. Simply karoge, things will start moving out. Okay? And now the point is, once you start daily recording, maintain this recording someplace in Google Drive or somewhere, so that when we do weekly by weekly connect, Friday ko, we will compare day one versus your last recording. And thoda cross analysis karne ka dekhte. Are you speaking properly? Were you slow? Or were you just rushed fast? That kind of clarity should come, because if you keep, this is scary. If you repeat the same mistakes for 90 days, you will become an expert in making that mistake. So every week we have to improve and try to get better. And for getting that better, this learning communication is going to help. For getting that better, you're sitting and analyzing. Are you talking really properly? And then we will collaborate you with other people. And then, all of us in the group, we want to learn. So there is nothing like laughing on one another. Nahi aata, accept it, nahi aata. And like we are here to help each other, support each other. So when everybody is in the same boat and we all can care for one another, and you will realize things will start getting better and we will start improving automatically. Now, one technique I will share for pronunciation properly. I just came across this on internet somewhere. How do you pronounce words properly? Okay. Like every word that you say has to be loud, clear, and pronounced properly. This is where I said that full statement. You have to talk like that maybe for the initial of your times. How do you pronounce properly? When I'm telling each word properly, I'm using my jaw muscles. I'm opening my mouth loud and clear. I am using my lips. Everything is engaged. Then I speak properly, loud and clearly. That you have to master. And one technique for doing that is pen technique. Okay, for 30 seconds, just holding the pen like this in your teeth, gently holding it like this, and read some article. Go to internet, open any blog, any news, any article, hold your pen gently in your mouth, and then for 30 seconds try to speak. Okay, try to speak something, read something. What will happen is your jaw muscles will start engaging more. Your lips will start engaging more, and remove it after 30 seconds. And then try to read the same paragraph. You will start seeing the difference in the matter of 30 seconds. Why? Because when this pen is held, your jaw gets engaged, your lips get engaged, and then speak loudly, you will start sounding different already. Okay? So do this activity on a daily basis right from tomorrow. If you can start today, well and good, but already 11 bajne wale, so I would suggest ki tomorrow onwards start, that is fine. Dekho guys, if you are consistent, you need to understand, motivation, willpower is not going to make you successful. Okay? Consistency in a long run is going to make you successful. It doesn't matter even if you don't start today or even if you don't start tomorrow, but a day will come, let's say Friday, you start on Friday, but never stop it. You will succeed. And that's what it is, guys. Okay, fine. So daily record yourself, maintain it. Friday ko we will connect. Next, total number of hours spoken. So, or यहाँ पे क्या करना है, guys? This Excel sheet right now, I will give it to you. You download this, set it up at your side and on a daily basis. So now let's say today is 3rd of May. Okay, just see, did you learn something today? Here, if you have done this learning, weekly target is 2 hours. Maybe you did 0.5 hours today. Just mark it as 0.5. Okay, out of this 5 hours target for a week, you want to consume subtitles. If you did today 1 hour of learning, write 1 hour here. Okay, maybe reading you did today for 2 hours, maybe write 2 hours here. And maybe record yourself. If you have done it, make it 1. If you have not done it, make it 0. And then total number of hours spoken. Maybe apart from this 20 minutes, I would suggest ki thoda friends ko, if you can explain the technology learnings daily, or maybe whatever we are learning at 9 to 10, maybe take your friends and explain to them, discuss with them. Same thing in English. Baat karo ki acha aaj ye baat hoyi. Brainstorm with one another. If you do that for 1 hour daily, that will give you additional learning. Technology plus communication, both will improve. And then this is what it is. Weekly collaborating with other people. How many times? Setting up a target. Weekly 3 logo se baat karna hai for some time. And if you have done it, add a 1 or add a 0. And then next will come analysis. Simple. So whatever activities we are saying, we will just start tracking on a daily basis what we are doing. And once you track this, once you record yourself, just mark the attendance here. And daily 10 p.m. start. If you fix time every single day and repeat the activity at that day, you will become consistent. If tomorrow you do one time at 6 a.m., another time 6 p.m., then during the day and then 10 p.m., if your habit is scattered, it will not become a habit for you. It will just be like with your willpower, you're doing it. For able to do any task consistently, you need to repeat it daily at the fixed time. The way daily 9 to 10 session happens at 9 to 10 only, 9.00 pe we start. Like that, communication, you have to engage this slot daily 10 to 10:30 only, so that you can plan your other life priorities accordingly. Or I'm saying not 10 to 10:30, fix some other time. Let's say 5 to 5:30 in the evening. But daily repeat it at that time itself, so that you can prioritize that time properly. Okay, dekho, you cannot tell a statement. If you really want career success, you cannot tell a statement, today I am not able to join the 9 to 10 because I have to go to the market for buying something. Your priorities are shuffling. You cannot say, hey, today I have to go for a friend party. That's where I cannot attend. You cannot say that. When you prioritize your learning, everything else becomes second priority. And if you give that more priority than this, that means you're not really serious. So priority ka game hai. And then once you block a time, you have to respect that and do that. And then don't tell. And shifting the priorities, that just means that you're not a person with core ethics and like self, wo jo bolte na, core identity, strong people, a man of his word. If strong determination, I did it and I execute it, wo banna padega. Not like kal bol raha कि 5 बजे करेंगे, फिर 5:15 हो गया and like सो रहा है सोफे पे and like social media. नहीं नहीं आज मन नहीं कर रहा. These are losers. Such people who talk that are losers. But when you say commitment, 5 p.m. I will do it daily. Whether storm happens, earthquake happens, you wake up at 5 p.m. and you're standing there because you committed to yourself for doing an action. And nobody can stop that from you. फिर family वाले बोले जा market से ये लेके आ, नहीं, this time is my time, 30 minutes, I am not going to do anything. After this, I will do whatever. Now prioritize your time. If you can do this, you will win in your life. Don't let others to take your life opportunities away from you. Hold yourself. That's what yesterday we said. 10 to 7 daily work means you have to work. Like even job seekers, preparation, job hunting, 10 to 7. Don't allow anybody else to take that slot from you. Not even your family, not even anybody. Success needs that kind of responsibility. You cannot say, I cannot do it. That's a losing trace, basically. That's it. Simple. Simple habits. You start with this. Do it daily. Stand up to your commitments. Push yourself. Even if you don't like it, push yourself. Build this into a habit. and then run it for 90 days. And you need to know, even right now I know, only 30% people, maximum, only 30% people will be able to complete this for 90 days, even from this group that is right now. Why? Because motivation will finish, inspiration ki karna hai will also finish, because in the end, the consistent ones win, and it is a statistics of the world ki only consistent people will be able to do that, not everybody. So your target should be, your mission should be belong in that top 30% of people who will do it. Okay? This is how it is. And I'm sharing the Excel sheet right now. Just go through it. Simple hai. Tomorrow onwards, plan ki kaise karna hai ye. Okay, daily you have to spend some time or plan it out कि 2 घंटा कब करोगे, क्या करोगे, and automatically start doing it. But this is important. Daily start speaking. Mirror के सामने loud record yourself so that we can have your daily snapshots. 90 days में you will start improve. ठीक है? Okay, so I'm sharing you this link. And don't worry about what other things are there. We are going to discuss that as part of the week 2 that we take. Okay. देखो guys, एक मेरा ये सोचना है कि we as a society and community should support each other in order to succeed in life. And that's the reason we are doing all these things. And we just need guidance. Capability to all of you have it. Potential is there, capability is there, that burning desire of doing something is there. Otherwise, रात में 11 बजे यहाँ पे नहीं होते. You have that fire in you. We just need to channelize it in a proper manner and get results out of this fire. And then extraordinary life will happen for you. Okay? So everybody pasted this link. It is a comment only link right now. You cannot edit it. Okay? So what you are supposed to do is just go your file, click a make a copy. It will create your own version of file in your Google Drive. Listen it carefully. Make a copy, it will create your own version of file in your Google Drive, or you can simply do a download Excel and then host it in your own Google Drive and start editing it right from tomorrow onwards for all this activity. Okay. In this attendance form, I will give this link also. Already these channels are there. I will paste it, in fact, required. I can paste these channels right now in the Zoom. If you know something else, you can actually go there. So I'm not like recommending any of this, but yeah, people said that these are really good. So yes, you can have a starting point. If you know somebody else which is already good, take up that. Get started with it. I pasted this in the chat. And don't worry about what these other weekly other things are. Okay, secondary goals and books and all. We are going to discuss about this project checklist. We'll like high level, low level. This will be used for all working professionals in the projects to execute. We'll discuss about that. But for now, just focus on the goals, communication related section and start tracking in this one. As we go forward, we will speak about full lifestyle success. So when we said 10 hours kaam karna hai, remaining time pe, you need to live your life properly so that you don't get frustrated. Doesn't matter what's happening in your life. So a full lifestyle switch is required where laziness is not there, time waste is not there, and self-confidence and belief is there that I can do amazing results in my life. That's what we want to become, capable people to achieve anything that we want. Okay? So chalo guys, that's it. Have the link and get started right from tomorrow. Okay, somebody is asking how to copy. यहाँ पे there is simple option guys. देखो file में जाओगे, so you can either do a download it as Excel sheet and then either local में edit कर लो or you upload it in your own Google Drive and edit it. That is one, download as Excel sheet. Second is here there is an option make a copy. If you click on make a copy, it will create a copy in your own Google Drive and that version you can start editing. Okay? So these are the two ways of doing it. Yeah. Okay, हाँ चलो इसका attendance है. I will share this attendance also. So there is some description mentioned here. And attendance guys, देखो, you mark the attendance only when you did the activities like recording yourself. If you are done with recording, that only means that you have done it. And guys, I know it, guaranteed you will improve if you do it for 90 days. But question वही आता है कि who will do it for 90 days? Okay, so ये हो गया 90 day और bookmark कर लो guys, it's the same link every single day. 90 day communication attendance. Okay, chalo, yeah, this is the link for that. Okay, chalo guys, and all the very best. Good night. 11 बजे tomorrow morning I need to do the morning routine session 6:30 a.m. as well. If anybody wants to join in, you can come. We do meditation, we do day planning, and a lot of other things. Okay, for getting more results out of the day. Okay. Chalo, thank you everybody, and have a nice day. See you tomorrow, if possible, morning 6:30 or 9 p.m.